Good morning. Don't you just love Sunday? I love getting up on Sunday morning and having a cup of coffee, reading the paper, and thinking about this morning. And here, look at all these bright, shiny faces. Wonderful. Opinion is that exercise of the human will which helps us make a decision without information. Sometimes we are the only church in the universe that starts our services with the Doobie Brothers. Not to change anytime soon, probably. More sweatshirts. Tool rules. Don't borrow them, don't move them, don't touch them, and don't even look at them. And here's this one is take a second to read. Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Have you read what they go? Okay. Scissors cut paper, paper cuts rock, rock crushes lizard, lizard poisons Spock, Spock smashes scissors, scissors decapitates lizard, lizard eats paper, paper disapproves Spock, Spock vaporizes rock, and as always, rocks crush scissors. I don't want anybody staring at my back quite that much, so I'm trying to read it. Things that make you go, Conscience is, in most men, an anticipation of the opinion of others. A wise man will keep his suspicions muzzled, but he will keep them awake. Mediocre minds usually dismiss anything which reaches beyond their own understanding. And the woman who thinks she is intelligent demands equal rights with men. A woman who is intelligent does not. You know why I tell jokes here on Sunday morning? There's a good reason, actually. Besides, I like doing it. It's kind of fun. Of course, all the jokes depend on you, because I don't get anything. So everything we read, if you don't like them, it's your fault. So just want to make sure you know that. But beyond that, you know, it's a way to disarm people and help them relax. And besides, who says you can't tell jokes at church? Who made up that rule? So 18 years ago, we said, you know, we're just going to start with jokes. So the heart of a full-grown blue whale is the size of a small car. Its tongue is as long as an elephant. Yeah, I know. It's like, ooh, I don't know if I really wanted to know that, but this has a lot to do with our church right here. Medieval gentry always had an abundance of rich food, frequently serving 4 or 5 kinds of meat as a meal. But families in the lower economic classes were constantly at a point of hunger. Often a struggle was required to get enough food to prevent actual starvation. In order to stretch their food, housewife would keep an iron pot on the open fire. She threw all the leftovers into each day and kept it simmering much of the time. If a guest should arrive unexpectedly, they were likely to have to eat from the pot without any idea of the odds and ends that had gone into it. This early form of taking potluck came to the name the act of eating any meal for which the hostess had made no special preparation, which of course is not exactly true, but that's the way they did it. So that was great, you know, and everybody tells me it was great soup because of course I didn't eat anything. I spent the whole doggone time on the pew sleeping last Sunday morning, but everybody says it was good, and I did get to take them home, so it was good stuff. Let's do it again. We do have 2 patron saints by the name of John Lennon and George Carlin. And John said, love is real, real is love, love is feeling, feeling love. Love is wanting to be love. Love is touch, touch is love. Love is reaching, reaching is love. Love is asking to be loved. Love is you, you and me. Love is knowing, we can be. Love is free, free is love. Love is living, living love. Love is needed to be loved. I know. Whew. And George, equally as insightful. By and large, language is a tool to conceal truth. Anything else going on that I should know about? Or why, you want to talk about it? Okay, sure. I don't know what's going on.
Well, Tracy's not here. She's actually the one who is heading up the silent auction this year for the expo. And for those of you who are new, we have an expo that's coming up in April. We do a silent auction. We have the raffles. We have the quilt here that Chris Powell has graciously made for us. We have a painting here that's going to be going in it. Anyway, we're looking for donations for that. Anything that you would like to put together and bring in is wonderful. Gently used items from home. New items if you'd like to put together a theme basket. If you have gift certificates, please make sure that you put them in a theme basket of some kind, because the gift certificates, they really don't go well on their own for some reason. I think people like all the little kitschy stuff that goes along with them. So if you have a business and you'd like to put a gift certificate in, maybe put like items that will reflect your business and what you do. So that's very welcome. Bring them here to the church. We'll store them in the back. What else was I going to say?
Raffle tickets?
Raffle tickets. Yes. We're selling the raffle tickets right now for the quilt, $5 each. I have some packets of 10 made up if you have access to a lot of people that you would love to sell them for us outside of the church here. That would be wonderful. You can sign them out from me. There was something else that I came up here for, and I'm trying to remember now what it was. Yes, Nancy? $220 so far of the raffle tickets that we've sold for the Comforter. So if you'd like to get... Okay, so Janice says that people online can message us on the website. If you're interested in purchasing some raffle tickets, we'll try to see if we can't get them to you. Or make a comment on the bottom of the page. On the YouTube? Yeah. Yeah, just make a comment and we'll get that and be able to send it on for you. Well, I think that was everything. Volunteers. Tracy is usually talking about the volunteers too. Are we still needing volunteers, Janice?
We have a few left.
Okay.
Few spots left.
Okay, so silent auction really needs more help. Volunteers. Couple of readers, healers, if you're a reader or a healer, like to volunteer your time. We have a board in the back that we're keeping track of things. You can see Janice. Tracy is again not here, so I think that is everything. If I think about the other thing, I'll let you know.
Cool. Thank you.
I think there was one more thing.
99% of all lawyers give the rest a bad name. Xerox and Wurlitzer will merge to produce reproductive organs. Alabama state motto, at least we're not Mississippi? I don't know. I mean, it was here, so I don't know. Sorry, everybody on YouTube. Is it true? Really? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. Well, okay. Well, there you go. Sorry, Mississippi. Okay. While I sat in the reception area of my doctor's office, a woman rolled in an elderly man in a wheelchair into the room. As she went to the receptionist's desk, the man sat there alone and silent. Just as I was thinking I should make small talk with him, a little boy slipped off his mother's lap, walked over to his wheelchair. Placing his hand on the man, he said, "I know how you feel. My mom makes me ride in a stroller too." Children's logic. "Give me a sentence about a public servant," said the teacher. The small boy wrote, "The fireman came down the ladder pregnant." The teacher took the lad aside to correct him. "Don't you know what pregnant means?" she asked. "Sure," said the boy confidently, "it means carrying a child." There you go. Okay, let's sing a song. And as unusual as it may seem, I kind of sort of almost remember which one it is. Josh Groban, you raise me up. I got ahead of myself. Remember, daylight savings time next Sunday. If you forget, you'll be coming in between now and 11 o'clock. So we'll know.
Sunday. Our expo flyers or posters.
I have one taped in my car, a traveling billboard. So does anybody want one? All right, so I'm going to just pass the stack down one side and pass the stack down the other side. And what about? I have no idea what are you talking about? Puzzled look. Oh yes, yes, Sharon. Let's give Sharon a really, really big round of applause. Yay, Sharon Denning. Thanks for the reminder, Phil. She has been absolutely diligent about posting expo stuff. Have you noticed? Yes. If you would not only like it, if you would share the heck out of that stuff, that would just be awesome. Because that's how we get the word around. People are looking for us. My microphone working right? Okay. Yeah, people are looking for us. So let's give them a hand, help them find us. So I have this much to tell you today, and then a guided meditation process on the end of that, and this much time. So I'm trying to talk really, really fast. Sunday, from one Sunday to the next, Phil and I have to come up with what we're going to do. We're like unique. There's no other church around that kind of does. So we don't have any like playbook that says, okay, here's what you do. We got to figure it out as we go. So we think it's working so far. After 18 years, I hope so. So we take walks. It's our time to chat, and so frequently I'll say, well, so what do we talk about this Sunday? It's like, I don't know. What do we talk about? I don't know. So this last week, we started on our walk, and so I asking Spirit, where are they? How can I be of assistance? And when you do that, you can activate the world and get feedback. So the second the words were out of my mouth, I noticed a rock on the ground. And I picked up this rock because, when you notice something, when you're in that mood, you notice something, it's saying, pay attention to me. Here's your sign. So I picked the rock up. And have you got that picture up, Phil? Can you turn the lights off? Let me turn this. Is that kind of how you feel? Can you get a good close-up on this, Shannon, so people on the YouTube?
Actually, yeah, I can't help it.
Yeah, it's right there. So it looks like a big potato, but really, so how would you describe that face? Yeah, grimace, huh? So you kind of feel like that sometimes, right? Well, I got help for that. So you can take that up, Phil. You can remove that. Matter of fact, do you want to see the rock? I brought it. I will. So there's the vase right there. There's the side. You can just pass that around. That's going to go in our labyrinth, I think, for future use. I just blinded myself. Did that do it? Yep. So I'm sorry that you feel... I can relate to that feeling a lot. I get that. Almost sat on the microphone. That would not have been fun. So I have some stuff I want to share. But first I thought I would share with you the whole process of seeking a sign. Because here I had a thing that I needed information on. I made the request, and bam, here it was. And can't you relate to that? Is that like the funniest thing ever? So you have a right to seek a sign. Did you know that? I think you did. Here's the deal. You're familiar with this, I'm sure. And I say to you, this is in Luke 11:9. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened. For everyone who asks receives. Everyone who seeks finds. And to him who knocks it shall be opened. Now I know, if you're like me, You're going, yeah, sure, that didn't work for me. Right? Well, because there's a trick to it. There's a trick to it. And part of the trick is getting our figures, getting our head straight. Because there's two different kinds of seeking and asking. So I want to share with you the kind that what does work. How I did it works. There's another kind that doesn't work. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Because you need to know that. So if we look in Judges chapter 6, and Gideon, get my names straight here. Gideon was going to go to battle. And his advisors were saying, yeah, well, it's good, we got it. And he thought, well, I want God to tell me it's good. I don't want to risk my people's lives for nothing. So here's what I want to do. First thing he said is he arose in the morning. He went to, I will put fleece of, why don't I just read it? It's the rock. Remember the rock's face? That's me right now. So he said, verse 36, then Gideon said to God, talk to God. Who are you talking to? Talk to God. If thou wilt deliver Israel through me, as thou hast spoken, behold, I will put fleece of wool on the threshing floor. If there is dew on the fleece only, and it is dry on the ground, then I will know that you will deliver Israel through me, as you have spoken. And it was so. How cool is that? It was so. When he rose the next morning, he squeezed the fleece, drained the dew from the fleece, and it was a bowl full of water. How cool is that? Now here's where I just love Gideon, because he's just like me. And he said, then Gideon said to God, do not let thine anger burn against me, that I may speak once more. Please let me make a test once more with the fleece. Let it now be dry only on the fleece, and let there be dew on the ground. And God did so that night, for it was dry only on the fleece, and the dew was on the ground. So here's the deal. God did it. God wants to give you information. God wants to help you understand. God wants to help you with your path. That's the kind of questing or seeking that works. Let me show you the kind that doesn't work. Phil was working on his car yesterday. He was having so much fun. I was looking at Bible passage. I was having a blast. I know it's just a sick thing, but I love it. Anyway. So we're looking in Mark chapter 8, verse 2. And this is Jesus. And he says, I feel compassion for the multitude, because they remain with me for 3 days and they have nothing to eat. And then the story goes on about the loaves and the fishes. They fed all those people. Verse 11. And the Pharisees came out and began to argue with him, seeking from him a sign from heaven to test him. And sighing deeply in his spirit, don't you just love that? You sigh deeply in your spirit sometimes too, don't you? He said, why does this generation seek for a sign? Truly I say to you, no sign shall be given to this generation. I don't think any generation will get that kind of a sign, because here's the deal. This is the kind of sign that he's talking about. If there's a God in heaven, then he needs to flash those lights right now, and then I'll believe. You're not going to get that sign. That's not happening. That's not how it works. Don't you love that commercial? That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Love that commercial, because that's not how this works. That's not what getting a sign is about. Getting a sign is how you can receive information now, right now, to guide you on your path. Your relationship with Spirit is a given. If you don't have a relationship with Spirit, God's not going to send you any other sign other than the loving presence of the people in your life, the sun shining, the stars sparkling in the sky. You have plenty of signs if you want to look for them. If you don't want to see them, you won't. And I just saw a video the other day. This lady was saying, okay, everybody in the audience, now look around the room and find everything that's red. Identify all the things in this room that are red. So people were looking around, And she said, okay, now tell me how many things in the room were blue. Nobody knew. Because you weren't looking for blue, you were looking for red. So you never saw the blue. If you're not looking for God, you're not going to see the blue. If you're looking for God, you'll see it everywhere. If you're not looking, if you don't know what you're looking for, or don't have that skill set, you're not going to find it. Because our mind is this wonderful search engine that will give us information to assist us. Let me give you an example. You know, we've been talking about manifesting since September. I think you're probably sick of it by now, but I'm not done. So here we go. So a few years ago, some of you old-timers have been here a while, you've heard this story before, but some of you haven't, but it's really fun. So a few years ago, I decided I needed one of those little trampolines, rebounders. So I did the seek, ask, find. So it's actually ask, seek, find. So I asked Spirit, I asked God, higher power, whatever that is for you. Your term is whatever works for you. I asked, and I said, you know, I'm thinking that I really need one of these. Finances are really tight. Could you have one show up at a yard sale? Phil and I are going to go to a yard sale. Going to mini yard sales. That's kind of what we did on Saturday morning for fun. Didn't have to buy anything. Well, way cool, keen stuff, right? One man's junk is another man's treasure. So get to the first yard sale, and the brain goes on scan mode. No, and there's one. There's a trampoline. I thought, holy cow, I bought it. Get in the car, go to the next yard sale. No. I forgot to turn my sensor off. Bang, there was another one. I bought it. I thought, well, you know, somebody else might need this too. You know, you're not going to lift a gift horse in the mouth. Went to the third yard sale. And there was another rebounder. And I bought it. And as I was paying for it, I asked the lady, I said, so why are you selling this rebounder? And she says, well, you know, I didn't put it out in the yard sale at first. So if you'd been here a few minutes ago, it wouldn't have been out there. But I happened to be walking through the house. It was in the back bedroom. And I glanced in that room, and I kind of felt somebody might be needing that. So I brought it out. So, of course, I had to buy that one too. Gave them away. But, so if you're in that search mode, you'll see what you're looking for. But you got to know what you're looking for. And you got to ask first. Got to ask. Spirit, I would really like a rebounder. Would you bring it? And then you got to do the seeking. That means you have to get up, get in your car, go to a yard sale or wherever it is that you could find it, possibly whatever it is that you're looking for. You got to get out there. You got to put it out there. You got to get out there. And then you got to do the deal. Yes, Phil?
Are you saying I can't just sit at home, twiddle my thumbs, hoping it will show up?
No, you can't. No, it doesn't work that way. That's not how any of this works. Love that commercial. So you finding is taking it and activating it and using it. So ask first, then seek, get up, suit up, show up, do the deal. And then when you get it, be grateful, take it in, take all of it. And if there's extra, you can share it with somebody else. I did not need 3 rebounders. But I knew people that did. And they went to good homes. If you put it out there, Spirit cannot help but respond and bring to you what your heart desires. Well, let's look at that. Not that one. This one. Psalms 37:4. Ready? Ready for this one? Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Spiritual stuff first. Get yourself in a spiritual place, because otherwise it's, I want that. That doesn't work either. Gratitude, appreciation, joy. That's why Phil tells jokes. When we're locked in busy work and struggle and stress and the world's coming to hell in a handbasket, blah, 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 we can't focus spiritually. So Phil tells jokes. And when you laugh, you break the chain of all that fear. And when we're in that, once that chain is broken, then we can do stuff. That's why when people come late, sorry, you're missing half. The jokes are important. They're significant. It's not just because Phil's funny. Well, Phil's funny, but that's not the only reason. It's not, you know. So with that said, one more. But not that one. Where's the one I want? It's right there. It was right there. Seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all of these things shall be added to you. Seek the kingdom first. Well, what the heck does that mean? Seek, that means ask to be shown. Put your filter, put your auto mechanism on show me divine source. You put that on, you activate that, everything else is going to happen. Everything else is going to come to you. Easy peasy. It works. Therefore, whenever you see therefore in the good book, it means look and see what it's there for. You might want to read what happened just before that. So go back and read that. This is Matthew 6:33 and 34. Therefore, do not be anxious for tomorrow. Oh my gosh, there's so much fear. And it's easy to get afraid. I have to fight that all the time. Because there's so much input through the world that tells us you should be afraid, you should be afraid, you should be afraid. And that isn't, no, that's not how this works. If we're afraid, manifesting can't work. If your manifesting isn't working for you, might want to check out your fear factor. Might want to check out where your focus is. Are you focusing on red? Focus on blue. Can't see the blue if you're focused on red. Shift. Shift happens. Remember our t-shirts? Do not be anxious for tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Does it not? So I want to walk you through a process. But before we do the process, have you already switched it over? Oh, well. Okay. I want to walk us through a process, but I want you to think first, because I want us to get this concept. I want us to get chagrin face. Sometimes we think we have something in our lives that we don't like. And we may need to release that in order to acquire the things that we do want. Maybe all we see is red because that's all we know. Maybe we're ready to release that so we can look for blue. So let's just do a little bit of feedback here. What are some things that we're ready to let go of? Let me give you an example. So if you're tired of being lonely, let's turn that into a usable energy. Okay? Phil and I went to a swap meet yesterday morning. The big one out at Pasco. Is that a flea market? Called it a swap meet. Flea market. Oh my gosh, there was hardly anybody there, but man, it was huge. And when that's kicking up in the summertime, that's going to be quite amazing. Have some confirmation here. So I get a hallelujah on that one. But there's all kinds of stuff. And some of the stuff is just junk to me, but somebody else really wants that. Okay? So some of the stuff that you have, it may not be something you can use, but it might be something usable energetically. So the key here is to switch things into a more understandable energetic structure. All right? So if you feel like you're lonely, there may be people in this world that really could use some alone time. So if you take that energy of alone time, and we can trade that in at the swap meet. We're going to go to a cosmic swap meet. We're going to trade that in. And they're going to give you a little token. And then you're going to wander around the swap meet, and you're going to find something that you want. Your heart desires. Wanting usually has come from, I have a lack, I'm in judgment about that, so I want that. But the heart's desire is this deep, passionate yearning and longing, and that is what Spirit wants to give you, and give you signs along the way to help you acquire it. So it's not like Spirit's going to drop it in your lap. You're going to have signs will help you discover how to acquire that for yourself. Does that make sense? So other than loneliness, that we could translate that into alone time, what's something else that you have you don't want? Exhaustion. Okay? So maybe there's people who would like to be busier, or who would like to have worthy work. They're just hanging out bored. Make sense? What else? You got the idea. We're working. Huh? Addictions. Well, nobody wants an addiction, that's right. But at the same time, you can take that same energy and have a passionate drive. Undefeated, passionate drive. Focus. How does that feel? Does that feel right? What else? Say what? Impatience. Because we sure as heck don't want to ask for patience. Have you ever asked for patience? Anybody here ever asked for patience? How many people would never ask for patience again? Same hands. Same hands. So we don't want to just do patience. We're not going to set you up for that. So what's an equal and opposite of impatience? Calm. Focus. Peace. Peace. So maybe humble peace. Does that feel right? What else? What else you got that you don't want? Bad relationships.
Whether it be like this, doesn't have to be a man and a woman.
Yeah.
But just, in general.
Just in general. So what you're really toxic. Okay, so what you're really wanting is healthy relationships. Mutual respect. So shift that to mutual respect and give it away. That makes sense? So that's the piece that's missing out of it, but that's the part you're wanting to give away. Make sense? Exactly. Yes, ma'am. Sloth-like energy. Okay, so there's a lot of people who run around hurry, hurry, rush, rush, quick, quick, fast. And they could use calming down. Scatterbrain. Well, there's a lot of people who they can only see one thing at a time. So maybe it's a broader view of things. Does that make sense? So have you all got something? I want you to go into the meditation with something you're ready to swap out. Are you ready? Okay.